if you give it a chance. And it has real bones in it. And so this is the patellar tendon, excuse me, the quadriceps tendon and the patellar ligament. Okay. But anyway, I digress. I haven't even decided on a reader yet. Who wants to be my reader?
Oh, well.
Who said that? Okay, Tony. Good. So just read the underlined words.
The tibia.
Okay, so the tibia is the big bone of this lab. And so we see up here we have the tibial plateau, as I always like to call it. And you can tell which is anterior and which is posterior because this tibial tuberosity right here, the patellar ligament attaches to that. And that's this bump that you can palpate right there, and you can really see it actually on a knee. And very prominent feature, the patellar ligament attachment. So this is anterior, and so this would be the medial malleolus, wouldn't it? This bump on the medial side of your ankle, down here. Tibial plateau and the two menisci sit here, and the condyles of the femur sit right on top. And while we're at it, let's see how I get off on a tangent. Let's see if, so here's a fibula, and the pointier part of the fibula points down, okay? So the pointier part of the fibula must be the lateral malleolus, right here. That's the lateral bump on your ankle. And so since this is anterior, well, there's no way to necessarily know this is lateral, but you start to recognize the appearance here and the appearance over here, and especially when you look distally on this bone, you see what's often called the fibular notch, or the distal articular facet of the tibia. And so this is where the fibula is going to articulate down here. And the head, there's a little flat place right there, a little flat place, and that's actually where, that's the articulation, you know, where the head of the fibula goes, in that little flat place. So the fibula is going to articulate like this, and they fit. So look, that's just about what it looks like. So it looks like these bones were made to fit together. And you take a fibula and tibia from two different people of different height, and they wouldn't fit. But this is a nice fit. It's a good exercise to fit these two bones together. See how they go. And that, you'll recall, was just what the picture looked like in the slides. So, okay. So anyway, Tony.
The medial and lateral condyles.
Okay, the medial and lateral condyles, well, the fibula went out here, so that's lateral. And so the medial condyle would be right there, and the lateral condyle would be there. Okay, and there's a meniscus sitting on each condyle made out of fibrocartilage. And so this is the medial malleolus.
Where's the medial malleolus? Okay.
Yeah.
So then there's the intercondylar eminence.
This bump in between the two malleoli, or the two menisci, is the intercondylar eminence. And it helps prevent these condyles from sliding side to side, okay? And the condyles just sit right on there like that. So
It's the bump in the middle?
it's the little ridge in the middle, yeah. The intercondylar eminence. So let me get this thing out. So the little ridge in between the two menisci is the intercondylar eminence. Intercondylar means between the condyles. An eminence is a bump.
There's a tibial tuberosity.
Tibial tuberosity is where the patellar ligament attaches. The bump that you can plainly see right here, even through my pants, I bet.
And the shaft of the body.
What I'm holding on to,
The medial malleolus.
Okay, medial malleolus is part of the tibia.
Could you turn that this way, please?
Yeah, medial malleolus. Is the lateral malleolus part of the tibia? It's a part of the what?
Fibula.
Fibula, yeah.
The promal articular facet.
The, which?
The promal.
Proximal.
Oh,
Proximal articular facet. So proximal end is up here, and that is where the fibula articulates. It's this little, you can see it, they did a good job. It's about what it looks like on a real bone, little flat part there, where the fibula, the proximal fibula articulates with that, the head of the fibula.
The distal articular.
Distal
facet.
articular facet's a lot easier to see. It's a big old notch there.
Also, it's called the fibular notch.
Yeah.
And then on the fibula,
Okay, so the fibula, the pointy part points down. See that? That's the pointier part. Okay, so that is the pointing down is the distal fibula, which is also the lateral malleolus. That's the lateral bump on the side of your ankle, down here.
where's the lateral malleolus?
The lateral malleolus is the distal fibula. Okay?
The whole bottom part?
The whole bottom part. And if you palpate this bump on the lateral side of your ankle, that all comes from the distal fibula. Okay? So the name for that distal end, you've got to locate the pointier end, and that clearly is. This one is a little rounded, more rounded and bulkier. This is the head of the fibula, and that pointy part is the lateral malleolus.
And then the rest of the fibula is just the head and body.
Yeah, head. So the head of the fibula articulates with the proximal articular facet of the tibia. And you can see how that they kind of plug together. Let's see. Yeah, like that. So it's a good exercise to fit them together. Like that. Takes a little, you got to fool with it for a while to see which parts really fit together. But these two fit nicely. It's a good exercise to fit them together.
And then just the shaft on the
Yep.
fibula, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then the tarsals.
The
Tarsals.
tarsals, oh, good. So now we get to the foot, which is quite analogous to the hand. The tarsals are analogous to the carpals. With, there's some differences. You can see this smooth articulation. Sure looks like a hinge joint. Look at the ridges on the side of that. Doesn't look like it wants to go side to side very much, although I can wiggle my ankle side to side a little bit. But you'd have to call it a hinge joint, but that topic is carefully avoided by almost every author. You don't